Which eucalypt is the frostiest? Eucalyptus gunnii, subspecies divaricata. Tasmania's Central Plateau is a place of Great Lakes, extreme cold weather, and stout trees. It is one of the coldest places in Australia, with unofficial temperature records as low as minus 30 degrees. To survive here, this tree produces a sugary sap that enables them to stand tall and proud in the face of this incredible cold. It is this sweet sap, similar to maple syrup, which is used directly by the Palawa, the first people of Lutruwita, Tasmania. And Eucalyptus gunnii subspecies divaricata has one of the most interesting, twisted, and contorted branching structures of all the eucalypts. Before we get started here, I do have to clarify one point about this tree, and that is that we are talking about a specific subspecies. The term subspecies refers to a separate population of a species that lives in a different area of the species range. A subspecies also varies from the main species by its morphological characteristics, or how it looks. So here we are specifically talking about Eucalyptus gunnii, subspecies divaricata. Eucalyptus gunnii, subspecies divaricata, or the Mayana Cider Gum, is found in a very small 40 by 40 kilometre area. It is found in and around Mayana, a settlement on the edge of Gunnii, the Great Lake. It grows in a high altitude range between 865 metres and 1,150 metres above sea level. It is almost exclusively restricted to the edge of frost hollows in open woodlands throughout this area. But what's a frost hollow? Well, a frost hollow is an area in which cold air drains from higher ground and pools in lower lying areas. These pools of cold air that can drop to minus 30 degrees Celsius actually prevent most plants from growing because it's too cold. But at the very edge of these frost hollows is where the Mayana Cider Gum can be found. Did you know that roughly, and I mean roughly, half of a tree's weight is water? And in these bitter cold conditions, that water can turn into ice, damaging the tree. Some trees are deciduous, which means they lose their leaves in autumn to avoid winter altogether. Woo! Tangent time! Ha! Most deciduous trees in Australia, such as the red cedar, white cedar, and boab, live in hotter areas where they lose their leaves in preparation for the lack of water in the dry season. This is obviously different to deciduous trees in colder areas, which lose their leaves in the lead up to the cold season. Australia has just one true cold climate deciduous native tree, Nothofagus gunnii. Sound familiar? Also found in Tasmania. Nothofagus gunnii puts on a stunning autumn display before dropping all of its leaves in anticipation of the cold weather. Some lose their leaves in autumn to avoid winter altogether. Others produce a very sugary sap, which acts like an antifreeze solution because it naturally has a much lower freezing point. The Mayana Cider Gum is one of those trees that produces a very sugary sap. This sugary sap might save the tree from the cold, but truth, does it taste good? It tastes so good that it is the favourite food of the native brush-tailed possum, as well as introduced animals like sheep, wild deer, and rabbits. These introduced animals have had a truly drastic effect on the survival of seedlings over the last 100 years. Aside from this extensive impact of grazing of introduced animals, a warming climate is also a major factor in the species' decline. You see, it's not only animals that love to feed on this tree, but also insects. In a typical year, the long, cold winter would kill off most of the insect population. But As the winters warm due to climate change, this seasonal reprieve from insect attack is getting shorter and shorter, reducing the time the tree has to recover. The Miana Cider Gum is one of the few eucalypts that is used directly as a traditional food resource. The maple syrup-like sap was collected by the Palawa and drank as a sweet, possibly fermented drink that resembles apple cider, hence the name cider gum. Here in this tree, you can see a very old collection point where someone has cut into the bark to extract the sap. It is a very interesting shape that I'm sure collects the most amount of sap possible. Eucalyptus gunnii subspecies divaricata is the most frost-adapted eucalypt in Australia. It represents a unique branch of eucalypt evolution because of its antifreeze-like sweet, sugary sap. And it is facing some of the biggest survival challenges because of prolonged exposure to browsing animals, insect attack, and a warming climate. I'm Steve from the Tree Projects, and you keep on eucalypting. Eucalypt Australia runs the Eucalypt of the Year competition. Have you ever thought about how special your local eucalypt is and how it fits into the complex and diverse world of the eucalypts? Now is the time to get ready for Eucalypt of the Year 2021. There's also 2 links. You can click on them and subscribe if you like as well. But I'm out. Catch up.